Israel, Managing Director of Red Arc, and we've been working with the Quest team for a couple of years now. There's a saying at Quest, you need to put your own oxygen mask on first before you can help others. And I'm sure everyone's going to learn a lot today about the importance of mindfulness in dealing with our busy lives. So just some housekeeping first. Can you type yes in the chat box if you can hear me? And also, if you have any questions during the webinar, please jot them down and email them through to social media at questforlife.com.au, and we'll be able to answer those at next week's session. So now I'd like to hand over to Petrea, founder and CEO of Quest for Life Foundation, for some mental fresh air and exercise.
That's lovely. Thank you very much, Liz, for your welcome, and welcome everybody to today's webinar. My name is Petrea King, and I'm from the Quest for Life Centre in Bundanoon in the beautiful Southern Highlands of New South Wales. Thank you for creating some time in your lunch hour to reflect upon how you're engaging with your challenges and to learn some simple yet life-changing strategies to help you find a sense of calm in the midst of chaos. In our retreats and in our external workshops in companies and communities, we teach people the skills of increasing emotional intelligence and building their resilience. And through this series of 4 webinars, I'd like to share with you some very practical skills and strategies that tens of thousands of people have found beneficial. There are many pressures put upon people in the workplace, and perhaps you'll relate to some of the following. Pressures may include things like an increased workload, while financial and human resources are being decreased, which is common in a lot of workplaces. There may be relationship clashes or difficulties with a particular person in the workplace. You may feel stressed because you need to accomplish too much in too little time, or we all have deadlines that are simply unrealistic. You may be hankering for a more meaningful way of working and feel that you have a job rather than a vocation. Perhaps you're feeling jaded, exhausted, dispirited, or uncertain about your work and be questioning whether you're in the right job or maybe even working for the right company, which is really disappointing if you own the company. Perhaps it is some time since you leapt out of bed on a Monday morning full of enthusiasm and creativity, looking forward to another exciting and productive week of work in the workplace. Our personal lives may also have stressful issues which demand our attention, and we can feel stretched to breaking point trying to juggle everyone's needs. Your own needs may have slipped down your priority list if you feel constantly under pressure from looking after everyone or everything else. So perhaps we don't just want to reclaim our lunch hour, we may need to reclaim our life. These short webinar sessions are designed to stimulate your thinking about how you're engaging with the challenges in your life and will provide you with simple strategies to reclaim your peace of mind and find a sense of calm even when you feel under pressure. When we have a quiet and calm mind, we have access to some amazing qualities that we all value tremendously. Our creativity feels enlivened. We feel empathy towards others. Our perspective expands. We have access to our intuition, insight, and wisdom. Our sense of humour returns, and we're able to not take our own life quite so personally. Before we start, let's just take a moment to notice our breathing. Notice whether you are breathing deeply or whether your breath is at all restricted. Is your belly relaxed? Is it rising and falling with each breath? Are you holding tension in your jaw, your neck, your shoulders? Let go of any tension that you're holding in your belly. You may want to do some gentle head rolls, first in one direction and then in the other, or simply drop your chin right down onto your chest as you relax into that stretch. If you have a lot of tension in your shoulders, you could also do some gentle shoulder rolls, first in one direction and then in the other. Or simply bring your shoulders right up next to your ears and then let them go. And perhaps do this 2 or 3 times. If you're carrying a lot of tension in your neck, jaw or shoulders, then do those simple exercises every hour throughout your day and be conscious of dropping any tension when you feel it building. Now, consciously increase the depth and length of each breath. Let your belly soften and relax so that it gently rises and falls with each breath. For the next 5 breaths, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth like a long sigh. As you breathe out, feel your body soften and relax. Drop any tension that you might be holding in your shoulders, your jaw, your chest, your neck. Breathing in through your nose to the count of 5 and then let out a long sigh to the count of 5. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember to check your breathing throughout the day and notice if it has become more shallow or restricted. Consciously deepen the breath for at least 5 breaths in every hour and set yourself a reminder to do this. One of those bells on your phone, perhaps. You can do it in the middle of conversations and meetings, before you embark upon a new task or project, or when you feel yourself becoming agitated or anxious. No one will notice this if you do it on a regular basis throughout your day. Hopefully now you're feeling just a little more relaxed. You may have noticed that a lot of our stress is due to our mind, which is forever projecting into the future, or it's rehashing the past. When our mind jumps into the future, it projects its fears, worries, concerns, or anxieties about all the things that might happen, could happen, but probably won't happen, or it's ruminating about the past where it blames, shames, criticises, or tries to rewrite our history. This unmanaged electrical activity in the brain is simply habitual. One thought sparks off another and another until we are only reacting from past experience. We've all had the experience where we end up in our thinking a long way from where we began and yet have no real awareness about how we got there. That's why the Indian yogis describe the mind as a wild drunk monkey swinging through treetops. Our job is to put the monkey on the leash so that we can use our mind rather than be used by our mind. As you've probably discovered, the mind makes a marvellous servant, but a really appalling master. When the mind is agitated by the future or the past, we lose our clarity, our humour, our insight, wisdom, empathy, and intuition. We simply don't have access to these important qualities if our mind is in chaos. We need to bring the mind to rest so that we have access to these important qualities. Creativity is highly valued in the workplace because it allows us to accept and then adapt to change. Empathy is essential so that we have an understanding of other people's perspective and an awareness about how they might be feeling. Wisdom and insight allow us to draw upon our experience and see beyond the obvious. Our intuition helps us to hear what is not being said and see what is not always in plain view, and it gives us access to creative solutions to complex issues. And our humour is a mighty treasure because it allows us to not take ourselves quite so seriously and helps keep things in perspective. Change often causes us stress because we know how to deal with what is familiar, and particularly when we are under stress, we want things to stay the same so that we can do things on automatic pilot. And yet it isn't very satisfying or enlivening or creative to do the same thing over and over again in a habitual way, especially if it isn't really meeting the needs of a changing landscape at work or at home. It was Darwin who said that it's not the strongest or the most intelligent of the species that survive, but the one most adaptable to change. Most of us don't want to just survive in our life. We want to be able to thrive in the midst of rapidly changing circumstances. And change is happening all around us now, in the workplace, probably in your personal life, certainly in the climate. Technology is constantly evolving and we have to evolve along with it. And the economy and job security have its challenges too. It's not enough to hope that things will get better. Hope has to have legs. It has to be underpinned by effort. Your brain will generally not settle by itself. The nature of the mind is to be active, and it takes commitment and practice to bring it to rest. And the fact is, you are not your brain, you have a brain. You need to train your brain to be calm, because it is only when it is in the present that you have access to those important qualities that we all so value in our lives: our creativity, intuition, insight, wisdom, empathy, humour, spontaneity, and more. The easiest way to do this is simply to come to your senses. This is what we say to people when they're having a panic or anxiety attack, isn't it? Come to your senses. We say this because it contains a valuable truth. Our body is always in the present. It's never in the future and it's never in the past. Your body is always here in the now. Our mind, though, is always jumping 5 seconds, weeks, months, or years into the future, or it's jumping 5 seconds, weeks, months, or years into the past. We can practice connecting our awareness with the senses of our body throughout the day in every waking moment. So let's have a short practice together now. Become aware of this moment by simply connecting with the senses of your body. Aware of your posture, the shape and weight of your body. Notice what is supporting your body. Feel the pressure of your clothing against your skin. Be aware of any areas of tightness or tension in your body without needing to change anything, just simply noticing any itchy, glitchy, restless or tense areas of your body. Feel the touch of your clothing against your skin. Be aware of its texture, the temperature that your clothing helps create. Be aware of the way your clothing moves against your skin as you breathe. Feel the soft touch or movement of air against your cheeks, your hands. Notice any aroma in the air. Feel the sensations in your nostrils as the air passes in and out of your body. Now bring your attention to your mouth. Notice any taste in your mouth. Perhaps there's a combination of flavours. Notice how taste and smell work together to identify flavours in your mouth. Become aware of all of the sounds that surround you from close by and far away. Not resisting, not judging, not even labelling, simply letting the sounds be present. Let your listening run right out till you hear the sun shining. And the breath, simply noticing the breath as it flows in and out of your body. Now just hold this overall awareness of sight, smell, taste, touch and listening. This sense of being present to this moment, in this place, at this time. Then just take a long, slow, deep breath and stretch fully. Breathe deeply into your belly and take this into your next activities after this webinar. You'll find a practice like this on our website, and I'd encourage you to listen to it several times a day until you're able to practice it effortlessly whenever you need to. I endeavour to practice this in every waking moment. In next week's webinar, I'll share with you some practical tips on health and well-being to enhance your creativity and perform at your best. Don't forget to sign up for each webinar and feel free to share the link with your friends and colleagues. If you have friends or colleagues who are living with depression, grief, anxiety, trauma or illness who may benefit from our retreats, please don't hesitate to be in touch. If you have any questions you'd like addressed in next week's webinar, or any experiences you'd like to share from your practice of being aware of the breath and coming to your senses, then please email me at socialmedia@questforlife.com.au. Until we meet again on the airwaves, I wish you a peaceful and productive week, and my thanks to Liz Rowell and Red Arc for making these webinars available. Thank you for your company today, and I look forward to being with you again next week. Goodbye.